Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to a special edition debate follow-ups.
I got no music for that.
Sponsored by Boss Shot Shells. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
Yeah. Did you watch it last night?
I listened to 90% of it and watched the last 10% of it. I listened to the whole
confused.
thing. I was in the car.
Oh,
I listened
okay.
to it when I got the house.
Gotcha.
I listened to. I watched 10% of it.
Okay.
I listened to 90% of it. I thought Trump got his ass whooped in the debate, is what I thought.
I do
I
too.
thought it was a very unfair platform, and I thought he was crazy to agree to those rules.
Rules or moderators?
The moderators. I don't know why we conservatives keep putting ourselves in that situation. I just said no. I want some. What would be a true debate is to let him ask her questions and ask him questions, and someone just to moderate them doing it, because they were all softball questions. We want to move forward, but all we want to do is talk about Trump's past. Mm-hmm. That's all we do. We're going to move forward. We're not going backwards. We're going forward. To the most insane candidate our country has ever had, she's absolutely terrible. She has no direction. She doesn't know what she's doing. Everybody knows that. But the media is going to carry water for her. The same media that on June 1st wanted her off the ticket as the vice presidential candidate. And I would have touched on some of that. I would have touched on the democratic process of how they've nominated their candidate. I would have brung that up.
He touched on it a bit. I would have not enough.
I would have touched on it a lot. I would have touched on the taxes. I would have touched on no taxing on tips, and I would have touched on his no Social Security. I would have asked if she has a problem with just having U.S. citizens vote in the election. They didn't touch on any of that. Do you think that, and I think that's a question. The big loser in this was ABC. No credibility, but nobody watches ABC anyways. I think she won the debate, but I don't think it affects the bottom line at all. I think Trump wins easy still because people have 6 weeks to buy groceries, to pay their power, pay their electric bill, and everything that's skyrocketing that is not going to come down ever again unless we get some change. And I think they can't run from that. The minority people, and a lot of people don't watch debates anyways. A lot of your poor people aren't going to sit and waste time doing that. And you've got 2 people up there that are wealthy making rules for poor people, which make up the biggest portion of our country. And we're never going to have anybody that is there for us, because to become a politician at that level, you have to be backed with big money. And so the working class is out. For her to say that she's a working class person when she's worth $30 million and wearing $3,500 earrings that have an earbud in them, I guess. And I really don't have an issue with that. I really don't care.
Right.
Because I really don't think that, I don't know how many fence setters watched it last night and thought, I'm definitely voting for her, or I'm not voting for him now. Because most people they're in tune, the economy is the driving force in the immigration. And that's on them. Trump's best moment to me was when he said at the end, you've had 3.5 years, and why haven't you done any of this stuff? I thought that was a great point. It ended well. And that was the last thing said. So he had the last closing shot. But other than that, she pretty much whipped his ass because it was all set up. It was all set up for her. They didn't double fact check her. They didn't make her follow up with anything. I'm sick of hearing about January 6th. And I'm going to tell you what else I'm sick of is abortions. I'm tired of hearing about abortions. It doesn't affect me one way or the other.
Well, it affects.
No, not me.
Okay.
Because I'm never going to have an abortion. I'm not a woman. I don't think the government should pay for your abortion. I think if you have an abortion, that's between you and God. I do. But I don't think we should have to pay for it, just like I don't think we should have to pay for the transgender people coming over to get transgender surgery. And that's another thing they didn't bring up that they should have brought up that she's pushing. So I thought the debate was empty on a lot of things, but I think it was definitely one-sided towards her. I think she was very well prepared, and she knew what was coming, just like Hillary Clinton did when she debated in the Democratic process. She knew every question and had an answer for everything that was going to happen. It was a typical setup deal by the Democrats, who own the media, or whoever owns the media owns the Democrats. I don't know how that goes hand in hand. But that's my thoughts on the deal. I think he wins. It's going to come down to 4 or 5 states, and he's winning in all the swing states. He's winning pretty handily in. And they didn't push her. You know what's funny is the guy that David, what was his name, Fryer or something?
I'm not sure.
He was the moderator on the deal. He's the same guy that asked Kamala about fracking. Day one in 2020, I'm going to ban fracking. But then when she said, I never said that, he never followed up on that. She blatantly told him that on stage 4 years ago. And people do change. My thoughts on abortion have changed. My thoughts on gay marriage has changed. You know? So
my thoughts on that fucking dog haven't.
Well, I can't help that. But I don't have a problem with people changing their minds on things. Because people do. But to lie about it is one thing or another. So that's my thoughts on the debate. I thought Trump lost, but I don't think in the far end it makes any difference. Hold on just a minute. I'm fixing to kill this dog. Anyways, that's my whole. I don't really have a whole lot on the debate other than that I thought Trump lost, but I don't think it made any difference.
I think last night lost him the election.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people that thought Kamala was not presidential, she beat Trump in the debate.
She did.
If you got to raise a hand at the end of it, she was prepared. Now, you can argue about moderators till the cows come home. Does not change the fact of what we already know. I mean, if you're having to blame referees or moderators, you lost. I mean, it is what it is. You knew the rules of the game before you agreed to the debate. You shouldn't be surprised whenever it's 3 against 1. That's my thing. She never lost her cool. Trump never really phased her, and Trump seemed unhinged at moments. I think Trump got flustered. There were several times he was red-faced and almost screaming. He did not seem cool under fire, and he did not seem like he was in control at all last night. Once again, you can yell at the radio all you want for me saying this. I know the moderators were against him. I know the moderators only fact-checked him. They did not fact-check Kamala once. Even though when banning assault rifles or guns or gun grab come up, she was on Fallon, I believe. She talked about a buyback program. She talked about the banning importations of assault weapons, as she called it. Never got fact checked on that. I understand all that.
She never got fact checked on anything.
I agree. I'm
not making excuses for him. I told you I thought he got beat on the deal.
But she was prepared. Trump was on the defensive all night because of the questions that were asked and because of the way the whole thing was set up. I got all that. He still lost in the public eye. And I think last night, people that were afraid of Kamala not being presidential, I think she won them over last night.
And we will have to agree to disagree.
And I think that the Never Trumpers were, see, told you. He's unhinged. I lost my headphones. See there, he's unhinged. He can't handle the spotlight, whatever.
Well, see, he's got a track record to prove that he can as a president.
I agree, but he did not do a good enough job of pinning the last 4 years on her.
No, but they didn't give him a chance to either.
Yeah, but they didn't really give him. I mean,
the whole thing.
He brought up immigration from the jump. Like he should have waited for immigration to come up organically, hammer her there. And at the beginning of the debate, just hammer the last how bad it is to go buy groceries now.
Now his last pleasant moments he should have used in the middle of the debate.
Yeah, I mean he should have started it. You're in charge. You're gonna hear because she kept going back to him being a liar. He should have started out with you're here. You're second in command. These last 4 years are on you, and he should have started that. He should have hammered that home. Why haven't you done this? You've got a plan. Why haven't you done it? And he didn't do it. He missed a great opportunity, and I think it is going to cost him the election. I really do.
I don't think it cost him the election. I don't think it changes much. I think when the polls come out this weekend or Monday, they're going to be going up for her again, and then within 2 or 3 weeks, they'll start crashing like they have been the last couple of days.
She'll get a bump for sure.
She will, and then it'll start crashing. She has no substance. But the problem is,
But Trump didn't either.
yeah, but he has a plan. He goes through his stuff all the time.
He's never said it. I've watched every one of.
What do you mean he's never had a plan?
No, he's never voiced a plan. I've watched every single one of his debates.
I'm not talking about debates. I'm saying he has plans. When he talks
But
about
he
his,
never says it. Let me finish. Every debate that I've ever watched with Trump, he's never voiced a plan. What do the X's and O's of your plan look like? It's always an attack. She at least had something to say about $25,000 tax credit for
$50,000. Let's give more fucking money away.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, 50,000.
I thought it was $25K.
No, 50,000. $6,000
first-time
on
homebuyers.
chattel. Maybe it was 20. No, I think it was 50.
I thought it was 25.
But it's still, who's paying for this shit?
Either way, she had X's and O's of how to do it. When Trump was asked a question, he's like, "Well, I'm not president yet. I don't have to have a plan yet." It's like, no, that's not what you say right there.
Well,
That's not what you say.
I'm not defending him. I'm just saying I don't think we're going to differ on this. I don't think it's going to affect long term at all. I really don't. I think in a fair election, he wins easy. Fair election, he wins so easy. I don't even think it's going to be close in a fair election. She can't win in the swing states where she needs to win, and I think it's going to come down to math. And we need prayers in this country is what we need. And we've gotten so far away where we started from. Thank God our founding fathers were smart enough to have electoral colleges and some of the rules that we have, such as the right to bear arms. Because if it wasn't for that, we would be in big trouble. If we don't win this election, we're done as a country. We're done. We can't keep bringing these people in. And the deal in Springfield, Ohio is a real deal. That's not a fake deal. And when he brung it up and they want to scoff at him and shit, that was a setup thing. Everybody knows that's real. That is not, I saw a sheriff's department piece of paper from a call they had. That is a real thing going on in Springfield. I've had multiple people message me that people that live there and know people there, that's a real deal. That's going to come out in a couple of weeks too. And that's going to show that they lied. That is not going to go away. I've said Springfield's going to be a big factor in this election. I believe it's going to be. A second thing this is when I knew how fucking crooked our media was something happened last night and it resonated in me and it made my blood boil. And that's when I said, I got to quit listening to this shit. It's not worth it. But I kept listening. But this part right here really resonated in me is when she said, you need to watch a Trump rally. People are bored. They leave early, blah, blah. That's the biggest bunch of shit in the whole world.
Well, he called her on that.
But that right there told me she knew that was a fucking lie and blatantly said that. The moderators never chirped in and said nothing at all.
But how do you?
That was a lie.
I mean, but how do you? If you're not ready for that, how do you fact check that?
Well, it is a bogus lie. It's just full. But basically, what that's like doing is finding something. It would have been like Trump saying, "You know what? I was never a politician until I ran for president. That's the only time I've ever been. You've worked your way up. Now, how did you get here from Willie Brown's desk to here? You know." He didn't say that, and he's not going to, but that's the same kind of barb, a different deal, but that's all it was just a barb, because she knew it was a blatant lie. They don't have nobody go to her rallies and stuff.
Well, and that's what
and they're
Trump said.
And they're bussing people in and paying them. We know that.
Trump hit her on it.
But that should have been a follow-up. They do not follow up anything negative on her.
I don't know how you follow up on the rally thing.
I would say,
I mean, you could take a clip of 6 people leaving a Trump rally, and then what she said is fact.
I'm not talking about the numbers exactly, but I would say, now, Trump, you have record-setting deals. There's a way they could have went around that. The moderating wasn't fair. They should have a liberal moderator and they should have a conservative moderator at every one of them. That's only fair. I don't know why the Republicans agreed to this shit anyways. And it turned out to be about what I thought it was going to be like. I thought he would be able to zinger more because I thought the platform would be there, and it wasn't. And
he never had that Hillary moment.
No,
you know what I mean?
He didn't. Like, I'd arrest you.
You're right.
You'd be in jail.
He never had
But he didn't have the crowd. I think if the crowd would have been on his side. She's fake. Everybody knows she's fake. She's just another mouthpiece. They didn't even want her in office 3 months ago. Everybody knows that shit. She's there because of the money situation. I think she loses. I still do. I think that we are taking the American people as all of them being idiots, and they're not. There's a big portion of dumb people in this country. There's no doubt about it. And to vote for her, it'd be pretty stupid. I don't understand anybody in the United States what you have in the game that would make your life better if she's in office. Nobody. Taylor Swift nominated or endorsed her. Big fucking deal.
Trump didn't do a good enough job either, because she talked about the endorsements that she's gotten this past week from Dick Cheney and everything. He should have said, all you got to look at is who's endorsing you.
Yep.
And that tells you all you need to know.
Yep. That, and another thing he could have said was, he could have said, well, I have an endorsement from the people that are running the Border Patrol.
Right.
You're the border czar, aren't you? Why are the people that work for you at the Border Patrol, me, the police, Me. You can take your unions.
Yeah.
And you know what? What's
Take Dick Cheney.
Yeah. What's interesting that he said that was completely overlooked was his predictions. Because if you look at everything he said it was going to happen before the 2020 election if Biden won, most all of it's come true. Mm-hmm. And he's right about Putin and Ukraine and the stuff in the Middle East. And that's another thing he didn't do. I would say, you keep telling us about how great the world is right now. The Middle East is upside down. Ukraine and Russia are upside down. Taiwan and China are upside down. But we didn't have any of those problems when I was in office, but we have with y'all. And all the things that it was a horrible debate for him. He missed so many opportunities. I personally don't think it's going to make any difference. I think you're going to see a 3-point bump this week for her, but I think it'll go down. I think she'll be -5 out of the 3 within 3 weeks to a month. I think Springfield, Ohio situation. Plus, we're going to have some more shit happen in the next 6 weeks, as we always do. We're going to have some kind of shooting incident. We're going to have some kind of racial incident. And they're trying to turn the Tyreek Hill deal into a racial deal. It has nothing to do with Trump or anything else. Mm-mm. And we're going to have more of these illegal crimes that's going to happen. That's going to become more of a factor.
I think, like you said, the only thing that could save him is it's far enough away from Election Day. People, like you said earlier, you still got 6 weeks of buying groceries. You got 6 weeks of seeing whatever's going to play out. Had this happened a month before,
if this would have happened 2 weeks before the election, I wouldn't be as positive as I am now.
Right. I hope you're right. I mean, I really do. I'm very concerned. I felt a lot better about Trump's odds a week ago, a day ago. I really, really thought he was going to have a strong showing, and he did not. He failed.
He had a horrible showing.
And like I said, questions, the way that the whole thing was set up was against him from the jump, and I understand that. But you still got to play by the rules that are before you, and I think he missed a lot of opportunities to pin her on the border, on the Afghanistan exit, on just how expensive things are. And I think he missed an opportunity, and at times he seemed flustered. Well, that was my takeaway. Call me a liberal all you want.
That's your opinion on that. I thought he got beat too.
Yeah, but everybody comes at me a little bit harder for being a liberal.
You're not a liberal.
Well, I'm not, but
and I've known that.
I look at things critically.
Yes.
I mean, I'm also an Aaron Rodgers fan, and I thought that the Jets looked like shit the other night. Am I not allowed to say that because?
Well, he can zip a ball still though.
He can, but I look at things. Anything that I'm for, I try to strongman it. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm for Trump, but like, let's just be honest here and look at it for what it is. It was not a good night for him.
The only way we're going to get this country back is to have a Trump type person as leader, and a Trump type person is going to be hard to get elected. Because the only reason he's where he's at is because they can't buy him. That's it.
Right.
And her deal with the $400 million and all this stuff. Well, you know what? I would have said, well, you come from a family that sold slaves. Yeah. You want to talk about that? That's what I'm saying. He could have been a whole lot more of an asshole, but he's been coached and coached and coached. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because then the women are going to come against you. Right. But
he had a fine line. I mean, he had a razor's edge. He had a tightrope to walk all night last night. Because like you said, if you're too big of an asshole to her, then the women think that you're mansplaining and being a bully to a woman.
Yes.
So I mean, it is what it is.
It was a bad night for him. I think he'll overcome it. I don't think it's a big deal.
Do they debate again? Do you want to debate on either side? It was so well for Kamala. Do you want to debate again? And it was so bad for Trump. Do you just want to hope it goes away?
I read an interesting analogy on that this morning, and someone said you never see a champion of a fight say, "I want a rematch."
Right.
She come out and said, "I want a rematch. I want to do another one."
She did.
Yeah, she come out and said that, and someone said that shows you right there. A champion never does that.
That she knows that she's down and she needs hammer
more
it home again.
Now, the only way I would agree to another debate, the only way I would do that, if I had someone like Sean Hannity or Jesse Waters is one of the moderators,
right?
Someone that's going to ask, or what's the guy, the rich kid that does it that's really good?
Charlie Kirk?
No, the guy that got kicked off Fox News, Tucker Carlson.
Right.
I'd have him do it. I want someone that's going to be on my side that we're going to get the same kind of debate where
that would only be fair, but
where we get to ask questions, and she's on the defensive all night because J6. Rape, felonies, blah, blah. That wasn't about the presidential debate. That was all about his character.
Right.
But you didn't touch on her character.
Right.
If you'd have come to her and said, now there's a rumor is that you put Willie Brown's thing in your mouth, you know, and you don't have to say it like that, but there's a lot of rumors about how you got to the top and you were appointed these positions and you had an affair with a married man. Do you want to discuss this?
I don't know that I'd want to talk about my sexual history if I'm Trump. If you've got a clean sexual history, then
no. But when she was bringing up his stuff, the moderators should have asked about her past. They asked about Trump's past. They never asked her about her past at all. They didn't ask about her putting all those black kids in jail for smoking pot. And then she got on a radio station and said she smoked pot when she was younger too.
Right.
You know, that's the kind of things though. But that's the narrative that they set with Trump. We're going to hammer on all his shit. It was somebody somewhere is writing the playbook to this, and this is what we're going to do. You know, just like the Michigan to now, they're going to keep Robert F. Kennedy's name on the ballot. That's complete bullshit.
I thought he got off.
Oh, no. Now, a Michigan Supreme Court liberal judge said, no, it's got to be staying on there. So I don't know if they're going to go to the U.S. Supreme Court to get it overruled. My point is, if you're going to do that, then you got to put Joe Biden on every one of them states that he won the delegates on, because he was on that ballot. But put him back on there, too. It just happened yesterday.
I thought I read.
No, it just happened yesterday that they reversed that ruling again.
North Carolina, he got off.
Yeah, but they've just put it on Michigan again.
Right.
And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is pissed. But that's a good thing too. He should have come out and said, you know what, the greatest family in the history of the Democrats is the Kennedy family.
Right.
And guess who Robert F. Kennedy does? It was me. And another good thing for him, Arnold Schwarzenegger just endorsed Kamala. So fuck Joe, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Send his ass back to Yugoslavia, wherever the fuck he come from.
Right.
I wasn't surprised by it. It made my blood boil a couple of times, but I also knew that. I kind of expected that, but I really am in the mindset that a lot of people don't watch debates, and a lot of the same people.
You're going to be surprised.
The same people watching the debates, I think 90% of them already knew who they were voting for before it ever started.
Well, no, that might be true.
I don't think your working guy that works in a steel mill somewhere was watching a debate. And I'm not knocking on steel mill guys. I'm just saying they'd rather go to a bar and have a drink with their buddies or spend time with their family than watch people lie about shit for an hour and a half. Because I promise you, if I'd have known what it was going to be like, I wouldn't have watched it. I didn't watch the first one. I was in Mexico.
Right.
And I know who I'm voting for anyways. There's few spots. I can't vote for any Democrat. I really can't. I just don't believe in the no voter ID law, all this stuff that they push. I just can't get behind. And it's scary that we've got so many people. And our biggest problem is white liberals. That's our biggest issue in the world, are white, rich liberals that have never had to struggle. We've got one local one here. Never had to work a day in their life, ever. Trust fund people. But then they're down with all the Democratic stuff, but it doesn't affect them at all.
Right.
They're not, they go to buy groceries. They don't even look at prices. Boy, I'll tell you what, I have looked at prices lately when we go to the store.
It's bad, right?
Oh, woof. It's crazy how much shit costs.
Yeah.
And then they complain about the greed in the grocery business. There is no profit in a grocery business.
No.
I mean, we're talking about Kroger's. I think is the biggest grocer in the United States. I think it's Kroger's.
More than Walmart?
I think Kroger's is the biggest. Well, Walmart's considered a retail outlet.
Oh, okay.
But Walmart, I'm sure, sells more groceries than Kroger's. But Kroger's is the number one grocer in the country. And I don't know what their sales are. Let's just say $30 billion a year in sales. And they have like a 1.5% profit margin. So they're making $450 million, let's say. That's not a lot of money when you have to have that many. I mean, it's just a real tight curve on making money in the grocery business.
Yeah.
Now, Apple computers, they make a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
And all these other places do, but grocery business is not making a lot of profit. But somebody is making profit. Whoever's buying the wheat from the farmers and making cereal, that's who's making your money.
As far as just a grocery store, it would be Kroger's at $148 billion revenue annually. That's in 2022. Walmart was $572 billion. They have 26% of the
How much was Kroger?
Share.
148?
148.
And Walmart made $572 billion?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just say that both of those companies made 10% profit. 10% profit across the board. And I'm going to bet you Kroger didn't have a 10% profit, but I bet Walmart did.
Isn't revenue profit?
No, revenue sales.
I guess.
I mean,
gross or net. It doesn't say gross or net.
Like we bring in $1.5 million a year, let's say.
Yeah,
that's our revenue. That's damn. Okay. We sure ain't making $1.5 million.
Okay.
But let's say that it's 572. Walmart probably made $50 billion profit last year.
Yeah.
Because they sell a lot of shit that they're marking up, doubling it.
Mm-hmm.
But Grocery stores are not. They're on. I think if you looked up Kroger's profit margin, I bet you it's going to be less than 2%. So what is less than 2%? What is 2% of $140-something billion? Would that be $290 million?
Trying to find it.
10% would be 1.4 billion.
Kroger's net profit margin as of April 30th, 2024 is 1.43%.
Pretty damn close. So they made, I can't even do the math. It was $140 billion. 10% would be $14 billion. They made $1 billion profit.
Right.
$1 billion profit on $140 billion in sales. You talk about a small business with that kind of profit margin, you could never sleep at nighttime.
Right.
You wouldn't know how you're going to pay your bills from check to check.
Having a 1.5% profit margin.
Yeah, they've got to have 5,000 fucking stores to make that kind of money.
Right.
But she's coming out and saying it's the greed of the grocers. It's not the greed of the grocers. It's the greed of the people at now look at General Mills and see what their profit margin was. Those are the people that are probably being greedy. You know, Blake's selling corn for $3 a bushel, but a box of cereal cost $8 or $10.
12.5% as of May 31st, 2024.
General Mills. And what was their sales?
I don't know. I just looked at their profit margin.
But there's where your money's being made right there.
Right.
You know, and then they're selling to a grocery store that's making 1.5% on their product, but they're making 12% on their product.
Right.
And I don't have nothing against corporate greed. I believe in capitalism. I think one of our main problems in our country is we get too many conglomerates. All these big companies buy little companies.
Right.
And so we got these big and then they set their own rules.
Yeah. It's a fine line. I am a free enterprise guy also, but we're getting to a point in America where the big boys are almost too big.
Yeah, we are there.
So at what point does it become less about free enterprise and more about there's something going on and shit's getting out of control?
It is out of control. When I was a kid, we went through the AT&T Southwestern Bell antitrust
monopoly
suit, and I can't remember the details. I was young, but that's all you heard on the news every night. In the Southwestern Bell antitrust fund, because there's Pacific Bell, Mall Bell, all of them were owned by the same company.
Right.
And the only phone service in the whole United States was done by them. But they also put a lot of money to build that system. And Alexander Graham Bell invented the phone. So, I mean, it's kind of like Jeff Bezos at Amazon. You can hate the guy all you want to, but the guy's a fucking genius.
He is.
I mean, he found things that you were buying somewhere else, and we can ship it to you, and we're not going to charge you for shipping, even though it's included in the cost somewhere.
Right.
And he's making, I bet Amazon's not making a big profit on their stuff either. But then he was smart enough to let other people sell shit on Amazon and get a percentage of selling their own shit, but Amazon makes a profit off everybody else, and they don't even ship that.
7.3%.
7.5% profit.
As of June.
And a company that's doing $1 trillion a year in business or whatever they do.
Right.
That's amazing. But what a smart man. Now he's got his own airlines. He's got his own trucking company that's doing stuff. You buy movies. You watch NFL games. The guy's smart. You know, he's the Sears Roebuck and is taking it to the next level. And someone's going to come and knock him off his hinges in the next 30 years, and it'll be somebody else. It always happens that way.
Yep.
Walmart has survived the test of time on that, and they've gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. I'm not a Walmart shopper. I don't like to go there. I think it's a white trash store. I really do. I don't like it. I don't like the way it smells. But I had to go in there the last couple of weeks for something, and they've got great quality. They've got good merchandise. I just don't like going to Walmart.
Right.
But it's another company, Sam Walton, smart man.
He was. Genius.
He was. And there's just, but we're getting bought by big ones because Walmart's going to buy somebody else and somebody else is going to buy somebody else. What we're going to do is we're going to wake up and there's going to be 10 companies we're dealing with in the whole world.
That's what I'm afraid of.
And they're going to set the profit. That's what ruined Vegas.
Oh, all the casinos got bought up by the same guy.
3 companies own every casino in Vegas, and there's no, they don't have players like they used to comp stuff a lot better than they do. Now you're just a computer number. You know, so your casino host can override some stuff, but they don't do near the stuff they used to.
I heard a story from a guy. This has nothing to do with the debate, but he was a big gambler, and he's like, I'd lose $50,000 in a weekend in Vegas. I'd get a suite and I'd get meals, and he's like, now I do that, and I'm lucky if I even get a free breakfast out of the deal.
They don't do
he's like they just don't take care of me anymore.
No, when we used to go to Vegas back in the 90s a lot, in early 2000, we'd fly out there. And they didn't put us on a private jet or nothing. We'd fly out there. They pick us up at the hotel airport in a limousine. They take us to our room. We'd have up on the top floor, the next to the top floor, we'd have a room or a suite. Hell, that one time we stayed when you was in high school, we went. Shit, we had a suite that's bigger than our house. It was huge. But we'd have a suite. They'd comp all of our rooms, all of our meals. We'd have I'd get free play.
Yeah.
And you could go there. And I knew when we went there that food, drinks, hotels were free.
Yeah.
And I even got at times where they'd send us money for our airplane tickets. So everything was free to go there, hoping you're going to lose your money because odds are that's right. They were going to get their money.
Right.
The last couple of times I went out there, here's a player card. We'll give you $15. I don't even want to play the player. It's not worth playing with the player's card even.
Yeah.
But Vegas has changed, but there was 12 different casinos there that were operating, competing. They were trying to get everybody's money. And if they had a guy like me that might lose $3,000 in 3 or 4 days, and they had 100 of them, they were making some money. Well, nowadays they don't care because
same guys.
Yeah. But now the guy with $50,000 and that's playing in a weekend is not getting no money either.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way the world is, but we just don't have any kind of competition anymore. And they keep buying everybody up. But anyways, I thought Trump lost the debate. I thought he got his ass whooped. I mean, he got a good old fashioned go behind the barn, take an ass whooping. Best thing he can do is come back and say, it wasn't my best night.
He'll never do that.
And no, but that's what he needs to do. Come out and say, it wasn't my best night.
He'll never fall on his.
No.
It's not a Trump quality.
No, it's not. But it would come out if he just come out and said, it wasn't my best night. I wish I would have done some things different and end it right there and let's go talk about this. But I will give him respect for this. He would go tomorrow if they had a transgender convention, when him come speak at it, he would get up and stand up and talk because he's not afraid.
And take questions.
Yeah, and take questions. And something she will not do and she's not going to do because that's a Democratic playbook. We can run some idiot out there. We can let Obama run it from behind probably.
Get the media.
And get the media. We own the media. You imagine waking up knowing you own the media and you can get them to say,
well, I think it was Megyn Kelly. She said that whoever runs ABC, owns ABC, however it is, they introduced Kamala and her husband to each other.
Oh, the guy's the CEO of Disney?
They're just big.
Don't Disney own ABC?
Big running buddies. No, she said another name.
Oh,
but it doesn't matter.
Well, that's the whole situation was set up, and that's the way it's going to be. But that's where we are.
Yep.
And you got to persevere through it. I do think that they've taken for granted that the American people are stupid, a lot of them. And another thing I think they take for granted is that people watch the news and the media.
Right.
They don't. You know how much trouble we would have been in if this was 1972 where you didn't have the internet?
Right. Yeah. I think that's the only thing that might save Trump is hopefully the internet will do its thing and get out just whatever zingers he did have. Because that's the thing. Like young kids, nobody probably under 25 watched that debate last night. They're going to get all their information from TikTok, Twitter, and their cell phones right here. And it is a game of whoever has the best one-liners to those kids.
Could you imagine if Elon Musk shut down all the liberal shit?
Right.
And he could do that.
Yeah.
Well, they would have a fit though, wouldn't they? Election interference.
Yep.
And that's another thing too. Twitter, at least now, is user friendly.
Well, that's right wing.
It's become a right wing deal, yes, because Elon Musk, a big Trump guy. Yeah. And we didn't talk about that. He should have talked about, hey, I'm going to put RFK in charge of the FDA.
Never said a word about it.
And then Elon Musk, we're going to let him be in charge of government overspending and overreach and all the crooked stuff in the government. I would have brung all that.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of things he missed.
Yeah, I would have done some things different, but it is what it is. We will see. We got 2 months. I'm so sick. I'm ready for November 10th to be here and this all be done. God almighty. September 11th today, folks.
It is.
Don't forget what happened that day. It was a terrible day. A day everybody that's of the age of probably 30, 32 on remembers and will never forget the rest of their life. I was so proud of America on about September 18th because you would drive down any street in America and people had American flags in their yard. Businesses had them up. They were selling freedom fries. And I guess it's going to take another tragedy of some sort to do that. And I have a bad feeling by the time you become my age, all the things that happened in 9/11 that we don't want to know about is going to become the truth. And we're going to find out how crooked our government is. And I'm hoping by then that they will release the actual footage from the John Wilkes Booth shooting and the JFK shooting to let us know what really happened. Since,
John Wilkes Booth, I don't think they had a video.
Well, that's what I mean. We're never going to know the true story to either one of those because they're going to keep covering it up.
Yep.
Because the CIA don't want you to know. Anyways, thank y'all for listening to us. God bless you. This had nothing to do with waterfowl, but this is how we roll.
Bonus episode.
Yep, bonus episode. Go to Boss Shot Shells. Remember, Steel Reserve Hunt, November 18th, 19th, 20th. I have no openings. It's sold out. I do have some openings left on some other hunts, though. Make you a pretty good deal on some weekdays if I have openings on them still. Anyways, go to Boss Shot Shells. Thank y'all. God bless you. Peace out.
Love you. Bye.